Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are at Longacre Park, and we are actually walking through, as you can see, the lake area, the ducks and everything. And this is in Fairview Heights, Illinois. For those of you guys who are wondering, it's about 20-25 minutes away from St. Louis, Missouri. It's actually not as far from where it's closer to St. Louis than where I live. It's closer to the highway. You can hop on the highway and get right over to St. Louis. But St. Louis has some things you can do. I've just lived here my entire life, so I'm not so sure it's the town for me. But when it does come to the market, and specifically the stock market, we're looking at two ways you can make income. Now, you can actually combine these strategies in the market, and the way you do this is you basically buy a basket of stocks that already pay dividends, right? So, for example, you could have a portfolio that looks like 10 or 15 dividend stocks, and each of those stocks is, let's say, weighted between 5 and 10% of your overall portfolio. And then what you do is you basically just try to earn income from options. Now, options would be things like cash secured puts and covered calls. So what you're doing is actually the wheel strategy, which is one of my favorites. And if you're looking at like how to earn income on a regular basis with the wheel strategy, it can be a fantastic way to earn regular income due to the fact that you can do it in rotation. And really, there's no limit to how much you can do in terms of the wheel strategy. And so when it comes to actually generating income, you can choose a weekly, monthly expiration. I would probably go with the monthly expiration because you're going to get more income. But at the same time, if you have a stock that's paying a dividend, then what you can also try to do is time your options trades along with the ex-dividend day. Because remember, one day before the ex-dividend day is the cutoff for purchasing the stock or owning the stock and still getting that dividend, right? So if we know that, then we can look at when the ex-dividend day is and know, hey, what if we did an options expiration that even if, let's say, it's over 1 month, you go to a couple months out or 3 months out on a stock, and what you can do is you can do, let's say, a 2-month dated option, and the ex-dividend day is, let's say, 1 month out. Well, now you kind of have that leverage as well, because most likely what's going to happen, now it is possible your shares get called away. It's called, auto exercision, where a certain portion of the options contracts will get exercised by the Options Clearing Corporation, depending on if they're American or Canadian. It really doesn't matter. But when it comes to, there are certain specifications in regards to American versus Canadian options, but that's not the important point of this video. Regardless, it's going to be an auto exercised sort of thing. So basically, a portion of the options contracts will get exercised up until expiration. And then if the option is out of the money by expiration, to the buyer of the option, then that means you won as the call seller. So that's good, because if you're selling a covered call, then that means you want to generate the income or the premium income from doing that. So that's one way you can do it. You can basically combine the dividends and try to time the dividends before your actual options expiry date that is going to be more than 1 month out. So that's one way you can look at it, and I think it's a good way, because if you're trying to figure out how you can leverage both, right? Get the dividends and the options. If you have a basket of 10 or 15 stocks, maybe it doesn't work on all of them, but perhaps it works on some of them. And perhaps you're able to get some of the income from doing that on, let's say, even if 3 or 5 of those hit, and you're able to generate both the dividend from the stock along with covered call income. And then if you have a cash secured put, you don't own the stock, but you're still getting paid to buy the stock again and then collect more dividends. So you try to basically time your options trades around the ex-dividend day. That's the main idea. So I know I was kind of going all over the place with that, kind of picturing it in my head, but it does get kind of complicated when you're, so you have to really think about it, because if you're doing a trade like this, you want to make sure you put it in correctly. And, really the wheel strategy is pretty simple. It's just the timing of the expirations. It's the timing of the ex-dividend day versus your options expiration. And for a covered call example, if you already own the stock, you basically want to time that covered call past the expiration day. And of course, in reverse, if you're buying the stock, if you're on the cash secured put side of the wheeled strategy, where you're getting paid options premiums to buy the stock, then you're going to be, it's going to be the exact opposite is what I'm trying to say. But getting my heart rate up out here, just walking through Long Anchor Park in Fairview Heights. But I'm going to keep this video short because I just wanted to mention that. I think it's a good point. I think it's a good point of consideration if you're looking at generating income. Just remember, double income is the goal. So you want a double income strategy where you can generate the options premium and you can generate the dividend income. That's the goal. So if you can do that, then you'll be in good shape. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And what stocks are you guys investing in? What dividend stocks are you guys investing in? Let me know.